Hello again everyone. Today we're going to look at the cross stitch, and I have my normal software open, and to access the cross stitch part of the program you come across here to the crosses icon, which you just left click on and it will open up a new part of the software. The cross stitch part of the software is embedded in the software. It's not part of the workplace or page of the normal part of the software. You get a whole new screen. Now, and you can see up here you've only got two tabs, picture and design. Today I'm just going to bring in an image as a backdrop to work from, and then show you some of the tools you can use in the cross stitch to create a cross stitch design. So let's go to load a picture. So we need to be in the picture tab, and we've got here a load picture icon. We can also scan in. If we have a scanner that is compatible with software, we can scan it directly in, or we can scan something in and load it in if the scanner is not compatible, and we can touch up the picture if we need to, dim the picture or save the picture, beg your pardon. So we'll just click on load picture, and we'll come to the artwork part. I've actually gone to the artwork part in our software. If I just go up, it's in the My Designs folder of your software. Come down to artwork, and let's just pick this one here, A East 001, and left click on it and go open. The picture will come into the hoop. Now the grid lines on here are set. You can change the grid to whatever you like. Let's just right click on the grid lines, and we can show the grid or show the major lines. So as you can see, my grid has darker lines surrounding the minor lines there. And then we can have our major grid spacing every 10 lines, and major lines and minor lines colours here, so we can actually edit the colours our grid is in as well. If we click on background, we can choose the background colour, and hoop, we can choose our hoop obviously. Now with the cross stitch part of the software, it will automatically center. The design is not centered until it is saved, but it will automatically center, and you can't turn the automatic centering off in this part of the software. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, because the picture also automatically centers. So let's just go OK there. Okay, so you would have thought that in the grid options you would have had an opportunity to change the size of the squares, but in fact that is actually under settings. So you need to go to settings and fabric count. Because the grid lines are based on common hand cross stitch fabrics that you normally stitch on, you have a fabric count option which will give you how many stitches per inch in the first option, or you can come down and choose how many per millimeter and how many stitches you would like your grid to be. So I'm just going to leave it at the 12 stitches per inch. If I click back up here, it will go back to 12 per inch, and so you can change it in inches if you like. Some of you might be familiar with the hand cross stitch fabrics, which is 12 count or 14 count thread count in the fabric that you cross stitch on. So that's what this is referring to. And obviously the higher the number, the smaller the grid will be, because there'll be more stitches per inch. Okay. Right, now we're just going to look at how we can digitize this design in the software. So obviously we need to go to the design tab, and that brings up all our tools. Now the easiest tool to use is the auto stitch if you have a background image. So you can just left click on the auto stitch, come across and left click on the background image, and you'll have a little dialog box open. Now on the left hand side you've got what sort of colours you would like to use, whether you want to use the current palette of threads that you have open in your software down here, or whether you'd like to use a specific thread chart. I'm going to leave it on current palette to show you what's going to happen, and then I'll show you a specific thread chart. So we'll leave it there. Over on the right hand side you'll have the maximum number of colours. So we can go unlimited if we like, but we don't want 16,000 different colours. And because the image that you bring in, and I didn't mention this already, I'm sorry, the cross-stitch software only will accept JPEG bitmap type images, PNGs and so forth. It does not accept vector graphics like our new version 6 does, the main part of the software. The cross-stitch one only uses bitmaps. So obviously if you have a bitmap, the colours aren't always clear. This one is, because it's, you know, a nice clear graphic in the software, but some of your JPEGs and bitmaps will have multiple colours in the one colour block that you expect all to be one colour, and the software will pick up the individual colours in crosses. So if you have unlimited, you'll get lots of different colour crosses, lots of thread changes, and you know, it's just not suitable to use unlimited very often. Sometimes you can, it depends how much work you want to do. So we can restrict the number of colours, and I've restricted it to 10. I just had a look here, and I think there's probably less than 10, but roughly 10. And I'm going to omit the background because I don't want to worry about the white background here, because I want to cross stitch this onto another piece of fabric, and I don't want a square block of white. But if you wanted to have a square block of white because you want to use it as a block in something, or as a foundation for a little project, a pocket or something like that, then you can leave the background in. And so we can see here that the actual image is on the left, and on the right is the mapped image, and the software has picked up 6 different colours. This is based on the current thread palette. If I go to the specific thread chart and choose a thread chart, let's go down to Metla Polysheen Shades. It gives the software more colours to choose from. So in fact it has actually mapped 7 colours instead of 6. So there already you can see a difference between the two. Let's just go back to current palette and show you with the 6 colours what happens. Okay, so click on OK, and your design will be automatically digitized with full crosses. The auto digitizing only does full crosses. Auto stitch only does full crosses. So let's just dim the picture away. Okay, you can see also that the colours aren't really true to the original picture. We've got browns for the leaves, and we've got this 2 petals here have merged as one, because obviously the colours were close and the current thread palette didn't have enough colours to cope with a second colour in another colour in the petals. And also we have some holes in the leaves here where these highlights in the leaves were actually the same colour as the background, and it's taken those out, although it has left this white patch here in the centre of the flower. So not completely satisfactory, but you could edit this, and I'll be going into how to edit shortly. Now let's go back and undo that then. Let's get our picture back, and let's just undo back to our picture. And we'll auto digitize again, auto stitch again. This time when the dialog box comes open, we will go for the specific thread chart, the Metla Polysheen Shades, and as you saw, mapped 7 colours. We're still going to omit the background, and we're going to go OK. And if I hide the picture this time, you can see that the colours are much more true to the original picture. We do have 2 separate petals here, a red and a pink. You'll be able to see more clearly. This little button up here changes the crosses to blocks of colour, so you can see quite clearly what's going on. So you can toggle between the crosses or the blocks of colour. A bit like a bitmap blown up, it's kind of pixelated in little blocks. Again, we've lost these highlights in here because they've obviously been considered part of the background by the software, but we do have all our other colours and they are more true to the original picture. So sometimes it's better to use a specified thread chart. Okay, now let's just go back to bring our picture back and bring our crosses back. Actually, we'll leave the picture dimmed out. And let's zoom in, because this has come with full crosses only because it's auto stitched. Alright, so we have quite actually I'll show all again. We have quite a nice little cross stitch here. What we can do here, if we want to put these highlights in white, because we do have some white in the design here in this part of the flower, so we can make these white, is we can add those crosses back in. So let's go down to our cross and outline, our fill and outline section. So the crosses get added in with the fill, so you select fill and you can choose what sort of cross you'd like, whether you want a full cross or a 3/4 cross, a half cross, a quarter cross, and then there's some other options here where they fill in with candle wicking in this one, for instance, and these other types of crosses, star cross there and a plus cross there. So if you need to get some special effects, you can use those. But generally, for when you're starting out, you'll probably just want to use these four here, the different shapes of crosses, standard crosses. And I'm going to stick to full crosses for the moment. So I'm going to select the full cross, and it says full cross there now. And also, while I'm down in this area, it says threads too. So that means it's going to stitch over every cross twice. If I wanted the crosses to look denser, I can choose 4 or 6 as options as well, which will make the crosses stand out more. There'll be more threads in each cross, but I'll leave it on 2 for the moment. And so I'm going to select my pencil, which allows me then to add the crosses, and I also need to choose my colour. And so now that I've used the Metla thread palette, the colours in the design are included in the basic thread chart. They weren't there, they wouldn't have been there before. So that's how you add the extra colours, by using a specified thread chart. So I need to choose colour white. I think 14 is white. They were 2 very close to each other. And I can just, with my pencil selected, come over to where I want the cross and left click, and it will put the cross in. So obviously this colour here is an off-white, so but the white stands out for you on the screen, so I'm just doing that. So I'm just left clicking in every space where those highlights in the leaves were omitted. Okay, so that's filled in those missing crosses. Now I'm just going to zoom in to show you how to add other sorts of crosses. So let's just zoom into a part of the grid so I can show you that here. Okay, so you just saw me add a cross. Let's just choose a different colour so that I can really show this nice and bright. Let's choose red. So as you saw, choose your pencil, choose your fill type, the type of cross you want, and then you just click in the area you want the cross. So that's how you add a full cross. If you want to add other types of crosses, there are a few little tricks to learn. So let's select the half cross, for instance, and if I just click up in this top right hand corner, I will get the half cross running across from the corner I click to its opposite corner, like that. If I click in the top left corner, the half cross will run the other way. You see? So it depends which corner you click in, which way your half cross will run. It doesn't matter whether you do it at the top or the bottom. So I can click down the bottom left here and it will run up to the top right. Or I can click down in the bottom right here and it will run up to the top left. Okay, so that's how you add your half crosses, and the same with your quarter and 3/4 crosses. So let's just call up our 3/4 cross, and so if I click in this bottom corner here, the 3/4 cross will gravitate to the corner I've clicked in. If I click in the top corner, it will work up to that way. If I click in this top left corner, it will work this way, and the bottom right that way. So you just have to know which corner to click in. Don't panic if you click in the wrong one, because you can actually just click a different cross over the top of another one. So for instance, if I had a full cross by mistake and I wanted to add one of these half crosses, I can click in this top right hand corner while my three-quarter crosses, while my three-quarter cross is selected. I click in there and it just changes it to the cross I wanted. So I can also change this one, I can change this one, and so on. So that's how you change your crosses. And of course the quarter cross is just the same. Click in the corner you want the quarter cross. Okay. Alright, now I'll just come back to our design. Alright, so you can replace missing crosses from your auto digitizing, and you can replace and change your cross types. So I'm reasonably happy with this shape that's come out from this graphic, but should you not like the square jagged edge of your design, you can add in these three-quarter crosses to smooth out the edges. So let's just zoom into this area here. And for instance, a three-quarter cross here with a line going across and down here would smooth out this edge and make it less jagged. So let's go three-quarter cross, and we want the colour, which is the pinky colour, and I'm going to put the three-quarter cross in there. Oh, I need my pencil. Okay, I'll probably put one in there as well. And there. Now you can get carried away and accidentally change the shape of the design, so you do need to go back every now and then and look at the design. But as you can see, I'm starting to get a smoother edge there rather than jagged. Probably want to fill that area in there. You don't need to zoom in, and then I would need to make this one here a whole cross, you see. So I can go down here and change it to a whole cross, just by clicking on top of it. So it depends what look you want, and whether you want a filled in stitch around your edges or whether you're happy with your cross edges. Now there are lots of other things you can do, outlines and so forth, and I'll cover some more in the next video. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you very much.